everybody. Welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to the Curian Empire, our D&D 5th edition Epic 6 campaign, loosely based off of the ancient Mediterranean, very loosely. In the last episode, our three
I don't think so.
heroes
We are more villains than anything else, but it's fine.
attempted to poison a camp full of soldiers.
It kind of worked.
It kind of worked. At the very least, managed to sow a lot of chaos and
Confusion.
distrust and confusion through the siege camp. And we're last seen two of them riding off into the desert on the same horse.
On a horse with no name.
So you guys
We
now
haven't
have.
yet. We just don't know its name.
So you guys now have an extra horse.
Damn it.
And
Don't know what to do with the ones we have.
your
I
time
keep the
is
one
your
I have.
own.
Yeah, I took a hit of 3 damage, so maybe like a short rest, so I can get that back. I just don't want to waste a freaking spell.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I'd like for us to try and move away, but like keep an eye on the siege from a distance.
Somebody give me a survival check to try and find a good spot.
That's
I had the best
not me.
survivals, so
Keep an eye on the city, but
My idea is camp outside where we can see them and they can see us.
Ha! That is a 6 or a 9
Where's the dot?
right there.
It's 6.
So that's a 12.
Well, you can find a reasonable spot. You don't know if you don't think you could start a fire, but you don't think anybody will see you unless they leave the camp. and come look for you.
Except we kind of did. You literally started the fire.
I didn't start the fire.
Except I
kinda did, and it's all my fault.
This is all hearsay and a little bit racist.
All dwarves are pyros. It's a fact.
That's why all their stuff is made of stone. It doesn't burn.
Why do you think we communicate with stones?
Why do you think the elves and the dwarves don't get along? All the elven shit's
well,
made of wood.
Well, yeah, they don't like to live in trees. No, we don't. Marble cities. Beautiful coastal marble cities. How dare you?
It still catches
This
fire.
campaign is not your Tolkien-esque.
Not
elves
so
and
much.
dwarves.
Damn.
Not so much.
I know
But
we
yeah,
have yet
I
to.
think we'll try and take a short rest so you can kind of recuperate a little bit and spend your hit die. You have to still roll.
Oh, do I still have to still roll?
You have to spend it for the day. That being said, the minimum you can gain back will be 3.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Let's see if you gain more than that. Let's see what it is.
And nothing happens.
What all am I like?
So you roll, your hit die is a d8.
Okay. Oh.
You have 2 of those you can spend per day to like heal
You
or
have a
short
number
rest.
equal to your total level.
So right now it's 2 of them. And you roll and add your constitution modifier. And that's how much hit points you gain for resting for a short rest. So you gain 6, but you're only missing 3. So you can you're back to
Get them
full.
all back.
But just know if we
That
take
was
another
a
short
good
rest, you only have 1 hit die left to spend.
Okay.
Per this day.
That was
Assuming we're
good
going off
rest.
of normal hit
Yeah.
die
Yeah.
rest rules.
That
That
was
was
a-
full rest.
How about we just use the rule of cool, and I don't use
The rule of cool. I'm invincible. That's pretty cool.
the rule of cool. I just take a sweet nap.
That's canonically, basically what you do. And while he naps, I think Asim and I will keep watch. Specifically, I want to keep watch on the siege and try and see how it's going.
Okay.
Yeah, if this is going into night, I'm pretty damn useless. So
Over the course of an hour, it's hard to tell much difference.
It's still
on
chaotic.
a hill in the distance, just waiting for the walls to crumble.
I mean, we don't want the walls to crumble.
It's either the walls crumble or they start backing off.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to just leave it up to chance, right? And just be like, it seems like we did our job, they're starving, that we win. Because that could be what happens. But if they get the tunnels underneath the walls, they might have a chance to win this.
Yeah.
But we don't, what can we do to collapse 8 tunnels?
It's not even collapsing tunnels at this point because we can't. There's no way we're getting back in.
Yeah.
At least not without some resistance.
Now would definitely be the time for someone to attack these guys. You know, in numbers, attack these guys.
3 is a number.
Not
Yeah.
a good enough one. Unless we're only fighting
7.
3 guys.
7. We've got 4 horses.
I like my horse.
Yeah, I like my horse too.
you know what? We just stole this horse. Not sure which one's actually mine now. Oh, this one's got a Curian mark on it.
There's an easy way to tell.
This one with the Curian mark is not my horse.
One's wearing a military saddle, the other one's wearing it on my saddle.
Wolf just kind of wakes up. How's the progress going?
The same, I think. But we can't see what's going on below the surface. Does seem like they're having a hard time digging, by what I could tell. I asked some of the dig crews. It seems like they're hitting lots of clay and it's slow progress. I don't know if we can confidently... I don't know what we can do. I just don't know what we can do.
The only thing I can think of is to try and wait for nightfall and attack it then, but that's still a dangerous game to play.
They're going to be on high alert for a while.
I mean,
morale is going down.
Their morale is certainly going to be low. Nightfall hitting could mean them backing off. In which case...
They trust none of their food.
We might be able to sneak kind of into no man's land during that time and potentially collapse tunnels from above. If we can try and guesstimate lines and like dig down into tunnels.
Yeah.
Because I doubt they'll attack through the night because they're an army of Kinran humans attacking Tabaxi. Which Tabaxi, do they have dark vision?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like literally everything with the dogs. That makes sense. The like Kinran humans will not be as effective soldiers at night, so it'd be pretty dumb for them to carry the siege on into the night.
Mm-hmm.
What time of day is it?
Getting towards evening.
So we might be pretty close. That doesn't mean that they'll stop digging, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a few soldiers die within the collapse. Not much of a loss.
Not much of a loss for them, but it'll set them back on digging the tunnels.
Because instead
It's
of
just-
actually trying to dig under, they're going to try
Their
to dig out.
alternative is either going to try and dig out or dig up. And if they can get out going up, you can see their progress.
Get out, going up. Yeah. I mean, I think their plan is to go underneath the wall and spring up into the city.
Right.
Should they be able to
But
do
if they
that?
get trapped farther down, their only option is to go straight up.
I mean, another thing we could... If we could get into the city and go to where they'd be coming up, you could just wait there and, like, it kind of opens up and no, not whack-a-mole, like, a little hole peers up and, like, an engineer pries it open and a soldier's like, and you just throw a 5 by 5 foot cube of sand back on top of the hole.
Oh, I thought you were about to say we throw the...
Minecraft.
I thought you were about to
You
say
just put a
we
block
throw
down
a-
every time they dig they break the block and it reappears.
I thought you were about to say we throw the 4'2" dwarf at them.
Gonna have to touch me.
Just get them
I
all
could've
sorts
worked
of pissed off, drop them in there.
What did I tell you about tossing me?
You could kill a lot of soldiers in a tunnel.
I could
What
kill
if
a
we?
lot of soldiers.
What if we could? Okay,
But it'd take you a while, but you could kill a lot of soldiers.
so
They don't have ranged attacks. Not in
what
my
if,
actual game.
if we were to find a way to get into the city? I wonder how much convincing it would take for the Tabaxi to be willing to launch a counter at night.
Yeah, let them know somehow now's the time to attack.
Yeah.
Actually,
You have an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
if we could sneak in, even if they have just like some sappers that would move and try and hit the tunnel entrances.
Yeah. Because that might be something to consider. Because then that gives you a secondary. That gives you distraction. So you guys can focus on the tunnel, and then I could help the Tabaxi, like kind of fight.
I
And
can try
then-
fucking up the tunnels if I'm digging near those guys, slowly trying to collapse them out.
Okay. Well, it's just a matter of how.
Here's the issue: if we fail, we're in the city.
Yeah.
We're in the besieged city at that point.
Yeah.
Leaving is not going to be an easy option.
I think
Well,
We've
I
created
think
a
I
good
think the best way to go about it would be only one of us goes into the city.
Okay.
And then, so, like in my case, I obviously would stick out too much in that camp, and I would draw too much attention. So, I would probably be the one to go into the city and try and get the.
With all due respect, Wolf, you have the charisma of a particularly abrasive rock.
Well, then,
A dwarf walks in there and is like, "Brothers!" I don't know if they're gonna buy it.
I could try. I have a charm spell. I could charm.
You could trick them with magic. I don't think that goes over well. What if they make this? If they succeed and they're like, "Oh, he's trying to corrupt the general's brain and trick us into a counterattack." I think that we could all try and sneak in. We should just wait for nightfall. Because then they'll back off the walls.
Listen, I know my charisma's bad, but fuck.
Were you to
I'm not trying.
Were you to try and persuade them? What would your modifier be on the roll?
I'm gonna be a negative.
Not trying to metagame here.
Here, hang on. Just
It's like holding an
That's
active
it, that's
stick
what
for
it says.
I'm here to help.
Would have been a 14.
would have been 14, so
Would've
it
been
could have been a good chance.
Well, no, I was hoping I'd roll really bad.
Yeah. So,
Mine would have been terrible. Yeah, I think that trying to get in there and convince a small group to help us hit the tunnels might be a decent option.
I mean, worst case scenario, they don't like. I mean, for one, they're already not gonna believe that I'm with the Empire because I'm a dwarf. And two, I feel like if I name drop, like if I use Jalal or something, just be like, I was sent by Jalal to help with the siege, and my group's already out there.
I can throw a message over that wall, but it might hit someone and they die.
My head filed. Like reaching in, pulling a rock out of his head and falling over.
Well, I imagine it's just a tabaxi standing there. It just makes an
Bottle to the
excellent
dome.
ringing noise off of his steel helmet. Cling! And it just
Message right up.
But I think this is kind of.
badly injured.
I know it's a hard sell, and my charisma is not the best. It's just one of the deals where I'm thinking we just might have to let the fate of the dice.
Well, I think we could all sneak in.
Yeah, we get. I'm probably gonna have to sneak into the camp to get a good way into the city.
Like they're surrounding the city, but if it's nightfall, we might be able to sneak. Like the space between the walls and the camp, there's going to be open air, and like I don't think that they have the city surrounded essentially, but there's going to be weak points in that we can go through at night. I think.
Yeah.
First of all, I think we wait till nightfall.
Oh yeah.
And we see
Nightfall is like that's the only way.
I think we just wait till nightfall and we see what the progress is. See if they even back off the walls or if they try to fight through the night or what the plan is.
Yeah.
And then for me, it kind of has to be more daytime. But if it comes down to it, I can try tunneling near those other tunnels, and then basically collapsing them or attacking those guys a little bit at a time, slowing progress. The problem is sealing up those on the way out, so I didn't just make an easier hole.
Cool.
I think that's,
We wait till nightfall,
that's what I recommend.
watching the siege.
Brought popcorn.
Don't eat anything.
I brought the beer.
There's no more beer.
There's no more beer.
I actually have fancy brandy.
I
don't anymore.
still have the fancy
God
brandy. I still have Jalal's desk.
Oh, I've got my bottle. Damn.
If we get back to our house, I think I left my my cask of fine wine there from our prizes with my anointing oils.
I thought you were a little less shinier than usual.
Just buttering my body everything.
So, okay, one thing that's kind of annoyed me, you know how most of the damage parts of the cantrip, all damage for cantrips scales up? I'm annoyed that the non-damaging cantrips affected area doesn't scale. Because, like, Mold Earth is 5 square feet, but I'm like, okay, at the next one it should be 10, then 15, then 20, because if you're a 20th level character, like 20
At a certain, but like these spells like that, like non-cantrip spells, don't really scale that way. And at a certain point, there is like other earth-moving spells, and if you scaled that way, then be like, my cantrip now does what this 4th level spell does.
I guess that's
because
true.
I'm high enough level. So,
But that also makes me think,
Also-
are those spells useless?
no,
Because-
those spells are awesome because you can do what you do with Mold Earth on a larger scale. But the other thing is, it also can be done infinite times, and so it becomes so abusable. If all of a sudden you're like 30-foot square, 30-foot square, 30-foot square.
Actually, it still falls under the same, like, you can only do 2 at a time and they recollapse on themselves. So, I mean, there is those
Still.
restrictions, but yeah, 2 20-foot cubes is pretty dramatic.
brutal.
Yeah.
Also,
that's enough for
do you know that mending takes a minute to cast?
Mm-hmm.
Learned that recently. I didn't even know that. I thought it was like immediate. It takes a minute to cast. It's interesting. Yeah. Not that it's that big of a deal.
I suppose you could probably find some stupid way to rules as written versus rules as intended break it if it didn't have a minute casting
Maybe.
time.
Yeah.
The big thing is,
you know,
if you're
like-
an artificer and you have a construct thing that you build and you heal it with mending, it takes a minute to cast. Which I thought was busted, but then I looked into what mending actually does, and I'm like, oh yeah, not that busted. Takes a minute to cast for this 2d6 heal.
Okay, so you guys are waiting for nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
You can wait for nightfall. The siege does seem to lessen as the sun goes down, but once the sun is down, even those of you with dark vision can't see far enough to see any detail.
Do we hear the sound of siege engines still, like, lobbing
Yeah.
things into the city?
Going forever.
I caught it.
I caught it. Well, I think just
I don't know if we'll be able to if they're still somewhat actively sieging. They're not going to, like, open the gate for us.
yeah. Unless we can sneak up and destroy. Oh, that's gonna be a tough tunnel.
Could I try tunneling and get us in, and then?
But they might attack us on sight.
Oh, they probably will, but there's a chance. Also, technically, if I did it, I could also close everything behind us. So
You'd have to, because it'd be like 5 foot square. We step into it. 5 foot square. We step into it, and it'd be collapsing behind us the entire time.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's just got a lot harder now.
I mean, we might have already done enough. Like, the army being as starved as it is might be enough, but
I just feel like we need to do more at this point.
it's not like going and burning more towers. I don't think is the only real chance I think this siege has of succeeding is the tunnels. How do we stop 8 tunnels when we can't even really get back into that camp?
The walls are just really dense stone, right?
Like the walls of the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're made of massive stone blocks.
Old Earth works with stone.
Does it say unworked stone?
Choose a portion of dirt or stone you can see within range that fits within a 5-foot cube. You can manipulate in one of the following ways.
I mean, what you'd be looking, if you're trying to make a door through it, that would be stone shape, not mold earth.
Well, we can put a hole in the wall. We just get through it and then fix it.
It's up in the Curians.
Yeah, I don't think helping them besiege the city should be our way in. Supposing we collapse the wall so we can get in and tell them, come on, boys, no, let's run our time.
I just mean trying to move it so we can get in and then move it back. Don't want it to be the end-all, be-all, but I figure, if anything, then it might get us closer.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just something that we can open up a little spot to get a message or something through, see if we can find someone to get a message through.
It's just like, I feel like we need to have an actual conversation.
Open the gate for us. We're not here to siege you. They are.
And we're like, fuck you, Curian spies. And then we're like, fuck, we're trapped out here with the Curians.
Well, then I'm like, I'm a dwarf. I can't be a Curian spy. They don't like me.
That's true. Only I would not be able to get through.
I mean, elves are technically Curian Empire too.
That's true.
I'm the only one who would theoretically be able to get in.
Settlers.
See, now this is really going into the territory of probably only one person should try to get into the city.
Round 3.
It's just like the person who's the best at getting through the camp is the person who can't see at night. The person who's the best at getting through the camp and being able to convince people of stuff can't
See at night.
see at night. I am moderately okay at getting through the camp, moderately okay at convincing people.
My stealth is fine. Like I can get through. It's convincing people.
Well, you have like the least chance of getting through the camp because if anyone sees you, you can't lie. Like
Yeah.
a dwarf in the camp, if you like, I slip up on a stealth check. They're like, "What's this soldier doing in the place he's not supposed to be?" And I can try and bullshit my way out of it. They see you, they're like, That's a fucking dwarf. Get him. Especially after they see a dwarf torching their towers during the day. Like, you going
Hey,
to camp
it's that
is
dwarf
game
again.
over, man.
I mean, they're only perception checks if you want, but
Just
you,
for what
you
we
can
can
you
glean.
can hear
Disadvantage.
the big thing
That's
is
a-
that you can see the siege equipment still lobbing fireballs at this.
Yeah, it's a 7.
Well, what are we rolling?
Perception checks.
Disadvantage.
Sure.
I don't see shit.
I
They
mean,
are both a 3, so that is a 4.
I also once again rolled a 1 plus 3 for a 4.
you can see
God damn it.
you can see the siege equipment still lobbing. I mean, it's quite easy to see in the dark that they're still fireballs.
Balls of fires.
What
go
what
with this
that
guy.
means siege wise, apart from that,
We can't really see what's going on at the walls.
We have just listen. Our only options here are to just try and get through the camp and try to get a message over to the other side, or take out the tunnels along with the sieging equipment.
I mean, the siege equipment, kind of. But it's more important to take out the tunnels.
No, but if you take out the siege equipment, then because then that might be their sign to do a counterattack. Like, even if we can't go communicate with them, maybe they'll see something. It stops.
I just feel like the only way the Curians win this siege is with the tunnels. Is getting success with the tunnels. So stopping the tunnels is the way to win this fight.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm not going to be helpful in the tunnels, but I can at least try to be helpful destroying siege equipment.
But the siege equipment's in the middle of their camp.
Yeah, I know. This is why. This is why there's problems. Because right now, I can't do anything.
Technically, tunnels can help both. By us trying to, if we actually can tunnel underneath the siege equipment, we might be able to fuck it up so they can't use it. And then
But the
proceed
tunnels
to
are going the other
tunnels.
direction. Like, we could try and tunnel underneath, but your spell wouldn't really work for that.
Unless you create a hole and I just set it on fire from underneath.
Yeah.
It's a slow process.
That would take and like we would be burrowing under the earth with no real knowledge of where we actually are, and like
We need someone who's good at survival and not blind in the dark.
I am good at survival, and I am not blind in the dark.
I don't know if you're good enough to be underground in a desert and be like, "Yep, there's a catapult directly above us." I know because we've walked 3 miles. Like the chances of that working.
digs up into the latrine.
Not
What was
again.
that? Julius
Julius.
is in there polishing it.
I wonder. Well, no, because then the Curians would probably hear it. I was gonna say use thaumaturgy to use a booming voice to try and convince the tabaxi it's time.
This is your cat people. This is your cat god speaking.
This is your time.
You have to be like the WWE, like, it's time!
You mean UFC?
UFC, yeah.
Tabaxi.
In this corner, with dark vision, you guys!
And in this corner,
And then you stop and
suffering
you
from
just-
starvation, poisoning, and can't see in the dark. These
Those-
guys.
And then you just go around using thaumaturgy, extinguishing all the torches in the camp so that they don't have anything they can see. There is one other option, one other thought here. We could try and assassinate the general.
I've been saying that since day one.
He
Shit.
has been saying this since day
At this
one.
point, though, like,
He's over there with a little Curian soldier voodoo doll, and he's just stabbing it with a knife. I've been saying that from day one.
I told you.
I told you.
If we sneak into the camp and assassinate him, that might be the final straw that breaks the siege.
Yeah. Put his head on a pike in the middle of camp.
It's just
Then you
3
can
of
burn
us
everything.
successfully sneaking into this camp again.
Damn it! I said not again. Damn it.
Okay.
Like,
Let's
we know where his tent is. We know where the area is that he would be at. I mean, if they're still somewhat sieging into the night, I wouldn't be surprised if at least some of them are still awake, potentially him.
like really my use here is you guys sneaking in to assassinate the general, me going around just casually lighting fucking shit on fire to cause another stir.
Like, you could draw some attention, but
I mean,
I kind of want
like,
you in the
it
fight.
seems like you guys are. Does it feel like you have essentially two options, sub options within these?
Mhm.
You seem to feel like your two paths forward, or I guess 3 paths forward, are to wait it out and see what happens, which you across the board don't seem all that inclined to do.
No.
Find
Take
a
out the
way.
tunnel.
Find a way of getting the Tabaxi to counterattack, or finding a way to cripple the siege for good. And you feel like you kind of have some options within the two options that you feel are valid. So I'm just like trying to put some order to your guys' thought processes, if that helps in any way.
It does, but we're.
So whichever of those two options that you feel like has the best chance of success, it's probably worth sort of, exploring how to do that in the way that you guys are happiest with, I guess. Like, because you're at the moment, part of the problem at the moment is that you're trying to, and I know this because it's what I do as player character, you're trying to examine literally every option you have all at the same time. Whereas if you guys can kind of figure out which of those two methods you want to go with, you can kind of work from there, I think.
There is the potential of kind of combining the two as well in killing the general. And if we ride up to the walls of the besieged city with the general's head on a pike and are like, now's the time, charge them, then that might be the rallying call.
Because that'd be the thaumaturgy spell. Now the general's dead. Time for a counterattack. Something
It's
like
just,
that.
I feel like our only real chance of, if we're going to try and sneak into the camp, it need to be at nightfall.
Yeah,
And,
it's nightfall. And
excuse me, that could not go well, potentially.
really, any of the options we go with cannot go with.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
it's just like which one has the best chance of succeeding. Because they're completely encircling the city, right? Like, we can't get to the wall without going through the camp.
Right.
So we're going to have to go through the camp anyways, regardless. If we want to go and send them a message,
Just kind of logistically, we don't
a realistic
we don't
message.
see any tabaxi up on the wall, do we?
No, especially now that it's
It's
dark.
You don't see shit.
You can kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
you can kind of see where the city is because parts of it are on fire, and they're constantly throwing flaming shit at it. But you can't you're on the one hand just too far away, even during the day, to really see defenders, and it's dark and smoky. Anyway,
I think either way, course of action is to sneak into the camp. So
It's just, are we trying to sneak? I think sneaking through it to get to the walls is easier than sneaking to the general's tent.
yeah,
But if we wanted to kill the general, assassination mission could be a good option.
So character-wise, not a huge fan of waiting,
Yeah. We should do it tonight, whatever the plan is.
but I'm okay with if we are wanting to find a way to try and communicate, doing something stupid, it's fine. It's fine. Or going all out, just trying to attack the camp. I guess I'm okay with that too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Both sound like terrible options.
Let's murder the dude. Let's do it. Let's assassinate a general. What do you think?
I mean,
All right.
Huh? Huh?
I'm down.
Wolf is as in character. I'm hesitant, but I don't really see another option here.
Any magic effects that either of you can do to help us be sneaky?
No, I
really, really trying to ask in a non-meta way for pass without dreams.
I don't. That's a second level spell, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Unless one of you happens to be an Earth Genasi, even that I think you have to be a certain level to be able to do it.
Fey touched. Well, Fey touched.
Yeah, I think
There's
it's the same. It might be the same thing though, where it's
It gives you like Misty.
You can cast it once for free, and they think it's broken because it gives you a second level spell before level 1.
That's what dreams is a really good spell.
But also just like disguise self, or there's lots of shenanigans, sneakiness.
How about a couple
spells.
gallons of mayonnaise?
Then now we're talking. I mean,
Actually,
I could use thaumaturgy to also and any fire we see, I could just quickly put it out and gives us more cover in the night.
it's just we're not that sneaky. But fuck it. I think we
I
try.
believe being in darkness is
Is it-
supposed
it gives
to
them
give
a
you
negative
bonus.
on their passive perceptions as well.
So
That's,
obviously
it's
I
a
have
rule we essentially never use. but
I have
should,
Eldritch Blast
especially
for
because I play
distance.
rogues all the time, and I want that benefit.
But I also
if
have
you're
mage
interested,
hand.
watch that. I go over in detail in help action because there's nary a rule I haven't done that with.
I'm not gonna
Uh,
just look that up right
I-
now, though.
I also, it's not super helpful, but I have Mage Hand. If we need to do something from a distance, I can also, because I completely forgot this is the thing I was supposed to have been rolling the entire last episode. But
is your shadow person?
yes, every time I roll, every time I'm supposed to roll for him too. And if it's a crit fail, then it affects anybody. Because
I mean,
everything.
shit. Just according to this, if you're completely in darkness, they don't even get disadvantage on the perception.
They just can't.
They just can't.
That'd be my way to sneak through.
I have
Like-
one distance melee attack.
You won't be able to see in complete darkness, so it'll require you to be like hand on one of our shoulders, just following us. But it'll give us the best chance of sneaking in there. And I think if we can use a combination of Mage Hand and Thaumaturgy to like snuff out lights and stuff in a way that like keeps us in darkness, or at least in very dim light to give us some advantages, then that'll give us the best chance of sneaking up and assassinating this dude.
I mean, I guess they can still hear you, but they can't.
They can't see.
They can't.
They wouldn't know. They just hear something and just be like, "What's
Yeah.
that then?"
The
It must
one
have been the
thing-
winds.
The one thing to pay attention
There's
to.
someone prowling around here.
The one thing to pay attention to becomes the components for the spells.
Some of that verbal.
Yeah.
I don't think Thaumaturgy does.
It'll be components, and if it has a V, then it's a verbal.
Yeah, so Mage Hand is verbal and somatic.
It is purple.
And
I can be like, Thaumaturgy. Thaumaturgy.
I mean, if you're whispering this, I mean, you're still saying something, but it'd still be pretty quiet.
Yeah.
If so, they're not watching you do it. Like the verbal and somatic is more like if you're like in front of the king and you're like, try and push. They're like, what the fuck was those jazz hands? Get him. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
I'm feeling cocky. Let's go.
So-
Let's murder this dude.
So our plan is to try and sneak into the campsite.
Plan? We don't
Yes.
need a plan. Grabs Asim by the shoulder, runs off down the hill.
Onward!
I'm going to be wearing my gear this time. No plausible deniability.
I just
Yeah, I'm gonna wear my cool robes.
If we get caught with the dwarf, if I get caught again, like they're like the tan elf boy. He's done it again. We should have known. Like I feel like there's not a great chance for any of us.
It's that dwarf and that buff elf dude, and
And
they've got a
Kendra?
camera with them.
What? That's when he just throws.
And-
Goes like, what? They told me they needed help moving boxes.
Crits his deception check, wanders off into camp.
all right.
We get killed.
Campaign over.
Well, then we just make new characters. He's the new main character of the story
No.
instead of
Dear
the rest
God.
of us.
Well, it's all about death. So,
Who knows? Maybe this is the start of our gladiator arc.
which means we're gonna die.
We made that joke a couple times.
Yeah.
Let's suffer the consequences. Let's do it.
We have no choice.
All right, we're sneaking in.
So, sneaking in, basic plan, snuffing out lights, and trying to
Trying to make our way to the general.
By chance, did you with the general? Are you just planning on like stabbing, grappling him,
Murder the most efficient way we can, which will probably be
stabbing?
me like action surge, just like stab.
Okay.
He's going to be all of the Nazgul, like the first.
Yes. And he's going to be those beds with pillows in there.
And then the
He's
moment,
going to be
the moment
those
you
pillows.
pull the blades off, see all the pillows, just.
You'll just stand there and screech.
Unless you guys have a super efficient one-turn damage dealing quiet thing.
Quiet. What is that?
Quiet, he says.
I mean, I could use inflict wounds. Just
I mean, there is
really
the chance
inflict wounds just requires me to touch him.
we would probably have a surprise round on him.
Yeah.
So it would probably be each of us getting one thing to do. So you touch him with afflict wounds, I stab him in the chest,
I got plenty of damaging things, but quiet.
No,
and you slit his throat.
There's two, other important things to remember here, rules-wise. 1, sleeping counts as incapacitated,
Auto crit.
which means it's an auto crit.
Hot damn.
2,
He's just
massive damage rules,
Oh yeah,
Hot
if you
damn.
can get them to trigger.
yeah.
If we can get up
Advantage
up
and
to-
auto crit.
Yeah.
Like,
Here's the problem.
and I could action surge,
Us getting
and I could do
up
a maneuver
to
on
him.
each of them.
Us getting
Generals
up
are
to
not
him.
hard to kill because they have 25 AC and 1,000 hit points. Generals are hard to kill
'Cause
because
they're
they're
armies.
surrounded by army.
Let's do this.
That's sort of the point of Epic 6 games.
Alright, we're gonna...
Stealthy and fast. How are we going about fast?
Me in front, obviously, for the thaumaturgy.
And me second with you having your hand on my shoulder.
Okay.
And we're sneaking.
Once we get in the camp, I think it'll be lit
We
enough.
won't
that
have horses.
Yeah. Once we get in the camp, I think it'll be lit
I'm
enough for me.
somewhat
to
fast. I
not
guess.
Your little dwarf legs.
You can all give me stealth checks to
Okay.
try and cross the open ground to the earthworks and other defenses around the siege camp.
Do we have advantage due to the lighting conditions?
It's a pretty well lit night as far as the moon is concerned.
Second.
So on open flat ground,
Oh,
it's essentially going to be dim
I
light.
made this roll for myself. I got
Son of
a
He's just
Okay,
trying
good,
to go
good,
for the
good.
gladiator arc at this point.
That's a 14.
Okay,
20.
18.
you guys can make it up to the earthworks without incident.
I think we
There's a
wanted.
lot of smoke hanging in the air. You can hear. There's a lot of noise just from the like. You can't hear fighting, but you can hear the
Bickering?
siege engines just
Orders being called out.
and just the whoosh of and like just like the just the noise of this like essentially heavy machinery. I mean it's wood and ropes. And the city does seem to be like sort of shooting back to some degrees, but not
A lot.
not a lot and not as effectively.
Is there a light source in our path, like right in front of us, that can extinguish?
Yeah, I mean it's so like you guys are at the earthworks, so now it's essentially just getting. This next stealth roll will be getting past the defenses and sort of into the camp itself, and then the third stealth roll will be for moving through the camp.
Okay.
So you can, and I assume this is kind of where some of those towers and stuff were.
Yes.
We're gonna try and
Well, yeah.
intentionally.
We're
go
gonna
where
we're
they
gonna go
don't
through
have
those
it.
ones. I'll be like, okay, I said some. These towers are down. Nobody's there. We can.
There'll still be sentries, but they won't have a bird's eye view of
Yes.
us at least.
There are occasionally soldiers patrolling, but you can kind of, especially those of you who can see in the dark, can see them coming pretty well. So you can totally like wait for them to pass, put out a torch, and go.
Okay.
So it'll be another round of stealth checks.
Still with advantage,
Advantage?
from
I'll
lighting.
give you advantage on this one as well.
Okay. Another good roll. I'll take it. I'm supposed to roll these.
A crit fail and a crit success.
Jerry, for some reason,
Do I-
cosmically, that happens all the time. It's always scary. It's always like the worst. The worst is when you have disadvantage on a roll. It's like, well, that would be great. But
So-
17 for me.
okay,
So the crit success. That's a 23.
you guys are quick and quiet.
Oh my
Past the cavalry barricades, sort of up and over the earthworks, over a low section of wall, and into the camp itself. You guys are once again amidst the tents.
Oh, God, it's just win or one of us gonna fuck up. Win one of us gonna fuck up. It's gonna happen. Just win.
You know the way to the officers' tents, at least that section of the camp,
Do you know a good path?
because you've run through here before.
Mhm.
You are on the same side of the city.
Okay.
Do you know a good path?
So
that like of least resistance.
you guys can do another round of stealth checks to get from here to
Same advantage on these.
Oh, okay.
Because you can use thaumaturgy to
To
kind
snuff
of like
lights
to,
and kind of keep it dim.
but yeah.
Okay.
Burning. Okay.
Okay, so 21.
15.
18.
You're still rolling high enough to beat everybody's passive perceptions, especially in the dark. It's especially moving somewhat slowly because you're trying to remain stealthy and you're kind of putting out at least like lamps or torches that really need to be put out along the way. It seems to take a very long time. And this is the first time that you, Wolf, have been fully inside of this camp.
I've been in once, but it was like on the opposite side.
And you were on the edge. Like, you were just in enough to light the stables.
Yeah.
It's sort of setting in now just how many soldiers are here.
Wolf is shitting himself right now. Like,
but you guys are able to make it to the section of the camp that is dominated by the fancier tents of the officers.
Okay.
okay.
Sneaking into that part is the like main planning tent. Are there 2 guards posted in front of it still?
Yes.
Does it seem like there's light inside of it?
Give me a perception check.
20.
7.
Actually, 21.
8.
15. There's light inside, but nobody is casting any shadows, if that makes sense.
So it doesn't seem like there's anybody like moving around inside of the tent at this point. So I think we want to like sneak along the edge more so and try and find the tent that would seem logically to be the general's.
Give me perception checks.
Oof. That's a... What?
Whew, now we're talking.
That's
That's the first good perception. I'm an elf. I'm supposed to have elf eyes.
That's a 10.
That's the first good one I've had.
12 eyes need glasses.
18.
Dirty 20. Dirty
30,
20.
20. The biggest tent is this command tent. The second biggest tent is a short distance away from it. And is a similar level of like needlessly fancy. It's not like truly ostentatious, but like you can sort of standing amongst a group of other tents, you can find another tent similarly guarded by a couple of soldiers that is nearly as large as that command tent.
Okay. It's so stressful. Like, the problem is as we kill the general, we're at the halfway point. Just to make your butthole clinch a little tighter.
That was bad timing to say that. I'm getting a Charlie horse.
Oh, if that ain't a sign of things to come. Holy shit.
Are there any guards posted outside of that tent?
Yes, there are 2 guards outside of it.
Are there other guards in earshot of, or like eye shot of those 2?
No more sort of... It's sort of fronting on what's almost a street
Okay.
through this siege camp. So anybody passing by would be able to see those 2 guards. You can't...
There's no one currently on it.
At least nobody close by.
Okay. Do we want to try and sneak under the tent? Like, use the digging and go underneath
I
on
was
edge?
going to recommend that.
That'd probably be the best bet.
Because he's rolling around in the dark for Charlie horse.
It
You
was
alright?
leg day. It was leg day.
I see. Get together.
I see. Terrible timing.
I don't mean to laugh.
This hasn't happened in years.
You're good. Just breathe. I guess we'll try and loop around to the back of that tent.
Okay.
Then,
Yeah.
And thaumaturgy, anything
I think
inside
we'd like
that
to
we need?
like. Does it seem like it's one big opening for this tent, or is there like little sections inside? Does it seem like a large enough tent that there's like multiple,
It's probably
multiple
kind
big
of like
covers?
2 rooms. There might be a divider inside. It's hard to tell from the outside. It's probably not a bunch of rooms.
Let's make try and perceive from the outside to see if we hear anything going on the inside.
Okay, you can give me a perception check.
It's cool. I'll probably roll another
That's
another one. Oh, no.
That's a 22.
15.
17.
17. You can faintly hear snoring.
Okay. All right. I think we have him make us a hole to slide underneath to try and get in
Okay.
there.
Give me stealth checks to try and enter the tent.
Do we have advantage on
Do we have advantage?
I mean, nobody can. Nobody has eye shot on you anymore.
Okay. I'm tempting fate here, but we're okay. We're okay.
You said
20.
stealth?
Dirty 20.
15.
16.
You're able
Brody's
to.
the eye trying to get me.
You're able to crawl up under the edge of the tent.
Slide in.
You're inside a pretty fancy tent. Carpets spread on the ground to make a floor. Actual furniture.
Who's a lucky bastard?
A couple of chests, table, a couple of chairs, and a bed spread with what's probably silk. It's hard to tell. At least like fine linens.
I'm going to look at them. Please tell me this is the guy I'm looking for.
Is it the general?
It's the general.
Someone put a pillow over his face first.
Well,
so he
one
can't
of us
scream.
might just want to like make that our job of holding his mouth.
You do that.
Maybe you hold his mouth since he's got inflict wounds, and I can super crit stab.
My only question is that athletics? Is it going to be strength holding it? It won't release. This is still happening.
I could
Do you need to
probably,
walk a lap, or,
if I just have my shield on my back, I wouldn't be able to use two hands for my sword, but I could hold with one hand and stab with the other.
Yeah, that might be.
Man, I mean, to be fair, if everyone does it at once, maybe he just dies out right before he can scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's worth a shot. I would say you do that because you're the strongest out of all. You can hold him.
I can try and hold his mouth as close as we
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and assassinate him.
Okay, we will start with.
Inflict
And you don't
wounds.
even really need to roll attack rolls. It's not hard to line up to stab a sleeping man.
Well, I'm gonna like touch him for inflict wounds.
Kill
Okay.
him.
Give me athletics to
Okay.
keep a hand clamped over his mouth. Then we'll do sort of your guys' initial attacks, and if they're enough to kill him, then we'll do a round of stealth rolls.
Okay. Athletics is 19.
Okay.
And, I mean, is inflict wounds an attack roll or a saving throw?
It's a melee spell attack.
Is that auto crit too then?
I'm pretty sure inflict wounds is capable of critting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
attack
Yes.
roll.
Yeah.
So you'd attack with advantage, technically, right?
Yeah.
I-
But you don't need to try and hit him. Like it's.
I just want.
yeah,
It just hits.
It
Okay,
just
it
hits.
just hits.
So,
so-
and it's auto crit. So you're going to roll
You gonna double that.
6d10.
Okay, so here's the first volley.
I have a plan.
That's
10, 14
Okay.
plus
I can't imagine we need more than this.
plus
Another 11.
11, so 25.
25 on the nose.
Mhm.
No more, no less.
No less.
It's
I'm ready and waiting.
I grab him by the
Yeah.
mouth, and he just touches his chest, and he goes, "Oh."
he tries. He kind of like.
I feel like-
faintly tries
I feel like
to
he-
sit up as this happens, but that's exactly what happens. It's like it's faintly horrifying the way this
That's what
man's
I was-
eyes just like.
Make it so it can't move.
No, you don't do that.
No, I'm just saying that was my backup.
And is sheathed in booming energy? Are you crazy?
It only happens if they move.
Yeah, but still.
It'll instigate him. 100%.
It'll instigate him, but it'll be.
It is. Even though you have all killed people, you have all seen people die.
This one's.
You
We've never
watch-
assassinated. I've never
You
assassinated.
just
someone
watch
before.
this old man's eyes open, and he dies.
I like the image in my mind is you put your mouth over his head, like he goes to
He screams into my mouth and I swallow it.
I've never had a chance to get a general before. This is my only go. I'm gonna...
You can't tell anyone.
It's so creepy.
I'm like a Dementor, except I just suck the fear and the scream out of his dying mouth.
Okay, I misspoke.
You are some kind of demon. You're not what I like.
You put your hand over his mouth, and he grabs it, and right at that point, I touch his chest, and that's when he like just shrivels.
Yeah.
It is, and it's not. You have left. There is no wound. There is this this man has just died, and it is like it is faintly off.
It is literally Rick's. Like, what is that? Death? What kind? Instant?
What? Why? Because nothing else is more terrifying.
It's a deterrent.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying thing to watch happen. You could have just knocked him out. How is that a deterrent?
Yeah. I'm not even gonna make you roll stealth rolls for that. That was
That was
the
too
imagery
smooth.
of that is just too terrifying. The man
That's
just
the
dies.
noise I made. that is what they have a chance to hear.
Mm-hmm.
His
We just
slight
leave the
in him.
body, or we hide the body.
Let's leave it, because it's a message.
And I mean, like, there's no physical wound too.
Yeah.
Uh,
It'll look like he just died in his sleep or
Can
something.
you do any sort of like imagery on him to make it like look like your death god in some way? Like,
I
to
can
help
sure
rally the
carve
camera
a whole
against
bunch
him.
of symbols
Well, maybe
and
don't
shit.
carve him in. That might not be very quiet.
He did. What you talking about? Quiet.
There's guards posted outside of his tent. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we don't need to go that
actually-
far. I don't know.
What? You want me to carve my death god into it?
No, I was gonna see if thaumaturgy had any symbol stuff. Because all I can do, I can basically, we can either
Really,
write a
the,
thing or we
the,
can shape
like,
stuff.
the only thing I can do that I think would just be helpful for thaumaturgy at this point afterwards, once we like get into a good spot, is do like the booming voice to rally the tabaxi.
Is there any sort of like he has his armor in here? I assume, right?
Yeah, it's on a rack.
Is there any sort of like signifying thing showing generalness in this?
I mean, he's got a fancy plumed helm. I think the armor's fancy. He's got like all pieces of it are fancy and somewhat unique. From the cloak to his like gladius to his
I can do
armors,
my
like
normal
the helm,
burial
every
rites.
bit of it.
I can do the normal burial rites with the coins over the eyes. I can just leave my old ankh on his chest.
This would be the one time
Yeah.
I don't take the coins off his eyes.
Yeah, leave him there. I think that's quiet and a cool, like, oh god, what happened sort of deal. If there's any, I just think to help prove that we killed him, if we get to the tabaxi, I want to take, if there's any sort of like sigil on his armor that's like, or if there's like a clasp for the cloak that seems of particularly fine make, I'd like to like just yank it off the cloak and take that.
Okay.
General's clasp.
He got the clasp from the general.
I did kiss him.
Well, yeah, well, it's mixed up.
Well, I mean, I did hear that the easiest way to get the clasp is to suck the scream from your partner.
That's a new one. That's gross.
And if you do your rights and then we come back out the hole we came in,
Okay. Give me another round of stealth checks to get out of the tent quietly.
Okay. Crit. Ooh, that's a...
For 24.
That's a 20. 320.
18.
Actually, no, that's a 19. Shit.
18.
You don't seem happy about it, though.
It's because I looked down, it was a 16 and a 6 and a +2, so it's an 18. But for some reason, I looked down at the 16, and the 8 was pointing towards me, even though the 16 was on top, so I was like, 8, 6, 8, 6, 10, no. And I looked back and I was like, wait, no, the 16 is on top. The 18 is just angled in my
Okay.
direction.
You can get back out of the general's tent. You never even learned his name.
He died gruesomely. That's what...
He died not, like, gruesomely in a very non-gruesome sense at the same
At
time.
least he killed him in his
It's
sleep.
terrifying.
Terrifyingly.
You know, I like the idea that they're terrified at me using that spell, and I'm just like, eh.
And then I think, are we going to try and sneak to the city walls
Yeah, might as well.
and get the tabaxi rallied?
As long as like we can get a good cover against the wall, I can use the booming voice of the thaumaturgy and say, "The general is dead. Time for your counterattack," or something like that.
The bells. As the bell tolls.
Phone the bell tolled. We don't even know his name, but it tolled for him. Very, very quietly, in fact.
Well, because if we say the general is dead, the first thing that the Empire's going to do, somebody's going to check and see he's dead, and then panic's probably going to set in a lot very quickly.
I think let's try and sneak there. Try and sneak to the walls. Start moving that way.
Give stealth checks. to get
Using
to the edge of the camp.
thaumaturgy as we go along. A 13.
20.
It was going to happen eventually, guys.
Oh.
It was going to happen eventually. It's an 8.
It's an 8.
That is an 8.
You you will get the classic like like you've made it past. You're gonna reach sort of the halfway point between that like officers area and that sort of inner ring of the camp, which is getting sort of less and less tense and more structured, forges, places where like either siege equipment is under construction, being repaired, equipment's being stored, stuff like that. And you are going to get the classic like, "You there, stop!" from a pair of guards who are patrolling. And the shout is loud enough that there are other people around who have heard it.
Simon can't just quietly kill them. I mean, we just...
Did they just notice him?
It seems like it.
Maybe you take off, try and get as far as you can.
At them saying this, I'm like, freeze up for just a second, and I'm going to say, rally the cats. I'm going to run, like, branching away from the path we were taking, but still trying to move roughly towards the wall at this point. I'm going to try and run and lose them in the tents
Okay.
as best I can.
There's going to be lots of yells of like intruders in the camp, whatnot, which means you guys are going to lose your advantage. It'll just be flat stealth rolls from now on.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
gonna
I'm
happen.
gonna do
And
a test. Make sure that I roll.
every round that they're making stealth checks, they should only need essentially one more to get out of the camp, and then one more to cross the open ground. Every round that they're making stealth checks, you are going to be facing one or two soldiers, depending on how well people are able to intercept you.
Okay.
Round 2.
Let's go, boys! We got him already.
All right.
We got him
So
already.
do we roll stealth first? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
It's 15.
Oh, 5.
5. You guys essentially sort of half that distance again.
Mhm.
You're getting very close. You can actually start to see a lot of the siege equipment ahead of you, just past
Yeah.
sort of this edge of the camp. That's just firebombing the city sort of constantly. And it's the same thing sort of happens to you as all of the as the camp is getting stirred up. You're hearing calls from multiple directions now. You're hearing a lot of shouting from the direction that you guys came, as well as like shouting from the direction Tersius ran. The soldier steps like essentially straight out in front of you guys and watches you like snuff a torch and just gives up another shout. That like
Is he like right in my face?
He's close to it. He's
Inflict
like
wounds.
but he'll have time to shout. But you can absolutely.
I think
give
it's
him
better
an
to run
inflict
from him
wounds.
than to fight them, because you want to use your action like disengage and run.
Yeah.
Killing this guy doesn't change
So,
anything.
Officially, it's
Keep your
all
spell
up,
slot.
right?
It's all fucked. We gotta run now.
Gonna have some fun on the way out.
I mean, if you guys run past any of the catapults and they're like, their
I can-
fireballs are in like a big bin somewhere, just lob a fire thing into that and light them all
Yeah.
up, and they can't pick them up and put them on their catapults.
Yeah, I can.
Until they snuff them all out.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
Let's
whatever
just-
shenanigans.
Let's
you can
just run to the wall at this point because it's our best bet.
I'm gonna light a lot of shit on fire on the way.
I'm gonna trust him to do that because he's quicker than I am. So I'm gonna try
Right.
to like get as much.
Okay. You
distance.
guys can just call us.
I'm also gonna cast Shillelagh just in case I need to whack somebody.
There's a pair of soldiers running at you from ahead.
They're running from ahead towards me.
Yep.
I mean, I'm gonna slightly try and, if I can, I want to slightly adjust my path and dash, so they might be able to catch up to me. But I want to just try and get, like, not the direct route towards them, but make it as much distance as I can. If there's any way to circumvent their approach.
They're going to be able to get up to you and attack.
Is it worth spending anything yet? Probably not. Either way, I'm going to have to do something like that. I might just have to take the attacks, but there's 2 of them. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that slight course adjustment. I'm going to dash, and then I'm going to action surge dash again, so that I can move triple my movement, which will be 105 feet.
Okay.
So I'm just going to sprint and just burn as much distance as I can.
Okay. They can like catch up but not make attacks.
Okay.
So if you move again, they'll get attacked on.
I'm doing that.
They can't make attacks like this turn.
All right.
Are we passing anything important on the way out? Like,
There's
siege
siege
You will
equipment?
start passing siege equipment.
Cool.
And even like ladders, siege towers that are kind of undergoing repairs,
Alright.
catapults, and all sorts of stuff.
As they come, ladders, fire. Once we get to siege equipment, I'm sure will be different when we get up to that.
Okay, I could be wrong in misinterpreting how this works. I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
So that's +2
Yep.
AC to myself.
Mhm.
So
That is
Just
exactly how that
remember
works.
that it's concentration.
I don't know if that one is actually.
It may not
It just
be.
lasts 10
No.
minutes.
It just lasts
cool.
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes, you have
Awesome.
+2 AC.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is probably.
And that one is a bonus action spell. So you could still use a cantrip or
Okay.
attack if you wanted.
Yeah.
Or dash if you want to just
Yeah,
come
I'm
up
gonna
with
I'm
distance.
gonna dash so I can get the distance to the wall, so I can use the thaumaturgy.
Okay, there are soldiers kind of starting to give chase, but they haven't caught up to you guys yet. And most of what you're passing are engineers or slaves
So they're not.
working on siege equipment. Most of whom are, quite a few of whom are unarmed, and the rest of which don't really seem to have any interest in.
They're going to raise an alarm. Maybe. But they're not going to fight you.
They might go, "You went that way."
Mm.
I don't know what I saw. It looked like a child with a beard.
A really hairy child.
Small, hairy child who smelled the veil.
Well, it's the Middle Ages. I mean, it's,
I leave a trail of
It's not
just beer breath as we go.
The hounds had no trouble tracking them.
Okay, we'll swing back to you for a moment.
Okay. I think these guys are humans, right?
Mhm.
So if I dash again, I should make up enough distance that I can dash outside of their dash range, but they'll both get attack opportunity on me.
Yes.
Does that mechanically make sense?
Mhm.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give them both an attack, so that I can run fast enough to get ahead of them to where they can't catch me.
Does a 10 hit you?
It does not. It's like running, throwing the
How
shield.
about
over
a 7?
Nope. Just ducking, putting the shield up over my head and like clink clink. And I'm like,
Okay.
and I'm gonna dash.
They'll
running.
run to try and keep up with you, and more soldiers are going to get in your path.
Okay.
It seems like at this point you are not going to be able to go anywhere without there being soldiers there.
Okay.
For the most part.
How far am I from the wall now?
A long
I'm
ways.
still a long ways.
You're essentially a couple hundred yards from the wall, because they didn't want to build their camp within range of bows from the wall. So you have a couple hundred yards of like no man's lands to cross.
Right, I'm just gonna.
At least in no man's land,
Yeah.
you won't be running into soldiers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep. I'm just gonna use
Theoretically.
dash and
Okay.
keep going.
You are all starting to hear shouts of "The general is dead," echoing through the camp.
Long live the general.
Uh, no, leave the general. Pushes other general off the wall. At least I don't think this guy has a brother. I at least haven't
I mean, he's probably
I haven't
good.
named him. There are plenty of people who do have brothers that I've named. Not me. Well, he's not this guy so far. For all I know, he has a wife and 4 kids.
4.
They were all standing there at home, waiting for Daddy to come home, and now he never will. This is
Good.
war, damn it! I want you to understand what you've done.
He
I don't care.
had a wife and 4 kids.
I don't care.
Now they're going to be someone else's wife and 4.
I'm good. If we run into it, that wife and 4 kids are as good as dead.
Oh god, you're going to kill them? That's harsh. I mean, that does avoid revenge plots.
No survivor.
No survival.
Okay, you guys are just hauling ass out into the.
He's here for you.
And am I able to mess with any of the siege equipment as we go?
You're gonna have to do it with your action on your turn as you're running past, unless you don't really have time to stop and fiddle with it. You can stop and fiddle with it anyway if you want. But,
You're an idiot.
you are being
You wanna
chased by
die?
soldiers. So anything you want to do, you're essentially going to have to do like as you're running past. But they do have like essentially big, thick clay pots that they seem to be lighting on fire and hurtling into the city. They have stones that they're hurling.
Is it worth trying to burn any of them down?
I mean, it might be better to just dash to
Just
get away,
dash.
so you guys don't get attacked by the
Because
soldiers.
it's easier for us to combat once we're at the wall and kind of.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would rather us rally the Tabaxi first before we do anything else.
Yeah, unless they do nothing.
Yeah, if they do nothing, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We're dead.
We just keep running. But yes.
I mean, at this point, some idiot had to roll bad on an advantage stealth check.
Yeah, it's okay.
Did you
The
roll
next.
double crit fails?
No, it was a 4 and a 6.
It's
for a
okay.
total of
It's
8.
okay. The following idiot had just
We rolled a 2 after that. So.
So
Okay, you guys can make distance out into no man's land.
was it like one more turn and we're there or something?
It'll probably be 2 more.
Okay.
But you can. You are definitely past the edge of the camp and out into no man's land. You are going to have like the soldiers behind you can't catch up, but the soldiers ahead are going to rush you.
My plan, as like these 2 soldiers like charge towards me, is like I have my sword in my hand, but it's going like across like this, and like this forearm is bracing my shield, and I'm running straight through the middle of these guys with like an extend and then continuing to run. So they'll both.
Give me a strength check.
Okay.
Athletics.
12.
One of them gets knocked a little bit to the side. The other one holds his ground and stops you dead.
Okay.
Shit.
I mean, then I'm going to. My goal was to just run past. I mean, if he's not going to let me move, I'm going to use my action to make an attack, but it's going to be a shove for the guy who's still there. I'm going to try and shove him 10 feet back.
Yeah.
So just try and re-roll that, essentially. Ooh. Ugh, terrible roll. It's a 10.
13 beats it.
I think that's all I can do. I don't have action surge anymore. I don't have a bonus action that does anything for me here. So
Okay, you'll have a pair of attacks coming at you.
okay.
Next round, you could just.
I mean, I might be able to run.
Your
this
next run, you
round.
can get in the next. But like this,
The other soldiers are, now that you've stopped, the other soldiers are starting to catch up. 15's not going to hit you. And an 8's not going to hit you.
Nope.
Um,
Fighting. Being a fighter. High AC. Oh god. Oh god.
I assume you guys are still just hauling ass?
I'm still, yeah.
You in particular, like, especially because Asim's so much faster than you, that gap starts to widen a little bit, and the gap between you and the soldier behind you is closing.
Oh.
But a crossbow bolt goes sailing past both of you from the direction of the city wall.
Okay. So they're following
Past
us
both
out.
of you, like maybe it was aiming for the dwarf.
It's really hard to tell.
Whoo!
So they're following us out, but the walls like.
The wall. You're approaching the wall at a dead sprint, and there's defenders at it.
Yeah. Just keep breathing, dwarf. Keep breathing.
I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead, the bell, just above me as high as I can.
You just want the bell ringing.
Yeah.
That's spooky.
Hey, pay attention, you fucking morons.
Okay.
A spooky bell rings out over the siege camp and the besieged city.
So next round, I'll be able to thaumaturgy and make my announcement.
Honestly, if you did it here, they would probably hear you.
I want to be close. I want to make sure they understand.
They missed their first attack. They probably won't do another one. Sorry.
And yeah, I guess it will start with you. There are 2 soldiers ahead of you and 2 approaching. If you don't move this turn, there will be
4
more
attacks.
attacks of opportunity.
Am I able to move past, or are they fully blocking?
You can move past,
I just will
You'll
get
just
2
have-
attacks of opportunity.
and your distance won't. You won't make up quite as much distance.
Then I'm just going to dash. I'm just going to run past these guys and give them 2 more attacks of opportunity. There's no point stopping them fighting.
That a miss. That one is a 22.
22 will hit. Don't be a hero.
6 damage.
Taking it. Don't be a hero, kid. And then I'm going to dash and just try and at least keep the other 2 guys a little ways behind, even if these other 2 can dash and catch up.
Okay.
I'm just dashing.
Okay. They will catch up this turn.
Okay.
But you've already done the math as far as like next turn
I'll get 2 more attacks on them if they're from them.
And the camp all around you is starting to just like is ablaze with activity, but it's unguided. Officers don't seem entirely sure what to do between the yells of like intruders, spies, assassins. The general's dead. Nobody quite seems to know like where to go.
Yeah, so it's very unorganized. You have a shot at survival here.
Luckily, it's just I'm just taking 2 to 4 attacks around.
And you guys won't
It's
quite
good.
reach the city wall, but you're right there at the shadow.
It's at this point I'm going to use thaumaturgy to boom my voice.
Okay.
Tabaxi within the city. The general is dead. They're unorganized. Now's your counterattack.
Give me a roll me persuasion.
Oh shit.
You got this. Come on, big rolls.
Actually, I'm gonna
You
go
can do big rolls here.
uh,
Doesn't matter what the modifier is. It matters what the heart is. Let's see a critical hit.
That's a 3.
Okay.
Your heart is stubborn. You have a stupid heart.
I'm listening to my heart. You have a stupid
I
heart.
wouldn't go in there if I were you. My heart says I have to. You have a stupid heart.
Jesus.
Okay. Ooh. The Curian soldier, who had stupidly followed you this, or was trying to follow you this far, takes a crossbow bolt to the face.
Nice.
From the city wall. But that's at the moment the only response you guys get.
Hey, wasn't your face. We call that a win.
I call that a win.
We
yes.
call that a win.
This one
Yes.
definitively was not aimed at you.
Okay.
It's at this point now. I'm just gonna turn around, just have my staff ready, just in case they start coming at us. Like
I think that was the only one that continued.
I think that was the only one. But so if nobody comes out, I'm just gonna
Move
keep
to the wall.
I'm just gonna keep trying to thaumaturgy be like, I'm sent to help. Come on, you bastards!
you fucking flea bags! I'm your savior, goddamn!
My friend is in there, probably dying.
Okay.
I am dashing through the camp, taking 2 attacks. Please don't. 18 misses, 19 AC. Tried to swing at me,
Shouldn't
and
have given
still
him the
he missed
fancy
my
shield.
ass.
6.
Alright. That shield was literally the difference there between hitting and not hitting.
There are still more soldiers ahead.
Okay.
And you're kind of reaching a point where you could, if you keep running this direction, you will just sort of run the length of the donut. It'll take a long time.
Nice.
I'm gonna hard.
Or you can
Towards
hard
the wall.
right towards the city, or hard right, or hard left out of towards the outer
the city.
I mean, my boys are over there. Gotta go where the boys are.
Okay.
Running towards the city.
Okay. There will be more soldiers attempting to stop you.
Okay.
And you're going to start reaching the point where you're going to start taking ranged attacks as well.
Okay.
Because they're still not organized. They seem distinctly unorganized, but some of them are at least
I wonder how many
That guy's
laps
not
around
supposed
this
to.
place I can do before I die. Let's not find out.
Let's not find out. Go towards
I'm
the city.
running towards the wall and
okay.
just dashing every round. And if there's
Okay. There'll essentially be a melee attack coming at you every round, whether it's essentially just
a guy
one
catching
attacks of opportunity.
yeah, attack of opportunity as I run past.
And one ranged attack coming at
Okay.
you every round. Damage wise, I think it's the same either way.
Okay.
So.
I'm dashing each time until I get 20 hits.
You are fast, so it's not going to take you too terribly long. 7 damage.
Okay. On that round, when I dash, I will also bonus action second wind.
Okay.
To buffer myself. Which will gain back 9, so...
That's ranged attack. He's a crit.
Oh, fuck. Don't bring me down. Gross.
For 8 damage.
Okay. I got no more heals.
I don't think it's possible for them to trigger massive damage.
8
Unless
is
they
not.
crit.
Yeah. So
Um,
8 is definitely not massive. They need to get 11 is half of my max.
So they would have to crit and roll well.
Yeah.
They have to roll
I'm
very
gonna continue to run. How many more rounds of this door?
well. Probably 2 more.
Oh god. I love my chances.
That'll miss.
Okay.
That'll miss. Last
Dash
one.
again. One
The
more.
last one, then it'll just be down to a ranged attack.
Okay.
17 misses.
17 misses.
17 misses.
17 misses. So I'm like broken away from the camp and now I'm taking range attack.
Do I get to?
So you guys see me, and it's like running, like grabbing at my side.
I'm
and
gonna.
I clearly
before you
am
roll it,
fucked
can
up.
I do
I'm
one more
clearly fucked up.
thaumaturgy? Can I do one more
Sure.
persuasion?
And I'm gonna spell in the ground to Tabaxi attack him with an arrow
Yeah.
point. Because I can do that.
I'm just gonna be like.
Tabaxi attack this direction.
I'm a thaumaturgy. This is your opportunity. Me and my companions here have caused this chaos. Help us.
You can give me a persuasion roll. You can give me a persuasion roll at disadvantage because of your last roll.
Yeah.
With disadvantage, you have to roll 2d20 and take the lower.
Oh.
They're both crits. It's fine. They're both
Well,
17.
So 16. 16 is it.
17.
17. Okay. One more attack coming at you.
Okay, let's see it.
20 to hit.
20 hits.
6 damage.
Okay, I don't go down. I do not go down.
Okay. None of you will be taking any more attacks because in order for anyone to take an attack, they would have to be within range of either throwing or shooting a bow. In order for them to be in range of throwing something or shooting a bow, they would be in range of the archers on the wall top. And with their current chaos, they're not that stupid. It's not worth it. So, you guys will be able to wait what seems like it's probably only half an hour at most. It feels a lot longer than that. Just waiting in the shadow.
Is he
of this
by
wall.
us now?
Yeah.
I'm
Might
gonna
get two.
cast healing ward on him.
If you have cure wounds, or do you only have healing word?
No, I only have healing word.
Okay, just because cure wounds does more, but you can't do it at a range or a bonus action. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll take what you got. I am at 4 hit points after that last hit. That was about as close. Any more hits, and I would have gone down there.
Feel that.
Okay.
So,
It just like hiding.
It's a
in
D4
the,
plus your wisdom.
So that's
hiding like
Modifier.
A D4 plus 4?
and this is the desert, which means the middle of the night is cold.
Hey.
that's an 8.
Nice.
So you just
So
stand there
max
in
health I
the
can
shadow
do.
of the wall, in the cold, just listening to this camp continue to erupt in chaos. There's lots of shouting.
Thanks.
You can see lots of soldiers milling around and like struggling to figure out where they're supposed to go, who's in charge now, like
Yeah, I'm just gonna
What-
stay at the ready.
what the hell just happened.
But the Tabaxi don't open the gate or anything.
You'll be there for about half an hour before the gates of the city will open, and what's left of the defenders of Borena, who seem to be in as bad a state as the Curians, but at least they're
They have
organized,
Yeah.
We've shut down their
Um,
ability to get food.
begins to
Not necessarily.
begins to march out of the city, and it will not take all that long for the Curians to do a mix of two things, which are scatter or surrender.
Okay. As the Tabaxi are charging past, I'm like pulling an arrow out of my shoulder and be like, "Go get him, boys!"
I'm just the dwarf. I haven't run that long in such a long time.
Don't eat any of the food.
Oh god!
It's very poisoned. Oh.
They're hungry. Make sure.
I
No
think
food.
that's a decent place to leave this episode.
I think so.
Yeah.
Woo.
We We
Every time
I
the
can't
every
believe
time
we
the
survived.
robed and hooded specter of the gladiator arc comes drifting up with its scythe.
I just run as fast as I can away from it. I dash, action surge, dash my way away from that arc.
I can't believe we
Ugh.
survived.
Dude,
Well done.
again, one attack. I don't think, I mean, unless they rolled like a 1 on their damage die or whatever, I don't think an attack could have done less than 4 on me.
Minimum they could do is 2.
Okay. So, pretty unlikely I don't go down with 4 left running away there. Voof. Good
I brought you
God.
back up to 12.
Yeah.
Well,
Half.
I can't believe we survived that.
well done.
Big goddamn heroes.
Bunch of big damn heroes.
Roll disadvantage, 2 17s.
I was like, it could be 2 crits. 2 17s will do.
You know what? I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'll fucking take it. I don't care. Shit.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. They squeaked through another one. I'll capture.
How do we keep doing this?
I'll capture them all and ship them all off to fight in the arena one of these days.
It's that you can't keep getting away with this.
Oh yeah, try me.
If you enjoy, we once again just killed Jerry.
Well, you said it, and it was just delay. I was like, oh shit.
If you enjoyed this type of stuff, we have lots of similar content. We all barely survived Jerry's recent Republic Commandos mini
Very
campaign.
If the dice were a little more unkind, the Jedi would have died.
But we weathered it with all of the seriousness and gravitas you would expect from a Republic Commando squad.
Bunch of big goddamn heroes.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Level-headed, serious,
Tactical masterminds.
took really focused on the mission across the board.
Absolutely.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.